Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the extended block. And this is when you have, or you don't have a lot of credits, but you would like to fill in the bottom of the poster. In this case, what we would do is you can just use a regular sans serif typeface. Something like a sans serif condensed typeface will work just fine. So what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and just reset the entire credit block and show you how I created this. I'm going to double click on that type layer to select the entire credit block. Then I'm just going to come up here to character and set the font size for the entire block. Now this is what it would normally look like if you just selected the type tool, started typing, and it's just all one size. And so I would also recommend typing in all caps when you create your credit blocks. This way the text is a lot easier to read when it's just so small on that poster. However, I've seen credit blocks that use uppercase and lowercase as well, so it just really depends. If you see a poster really large on the wall, the text might look small on the computer screen, but as soon as it's printed out, it reads just fine. And so you can see this is just all crammed together. If we were to just type everything out, well, what we need to do is go in there and change the sizes of the words, like the title and words like and. We need to make those smaller to increase the readability of the block. So what I'm going to do is just zoom in. A word like this, for instance, I've got Mark Monsiardini and Melanie Stimmel. What I can do is just select the word and then come up here to the character palette, and what I'll do is just take that down 2 points, and there you go. And so now you can clearly see Mark Monsiardini and Melanie Stimmel. It just stands out a lot better that way, and it's just a much more easier to read. Let's go over here to the next one. So that's basically all I did, and this is just a very common format. This is how they do it. This is how a lot of designers, when they create movie posters, this is the exact same thing that they do. There's also something else you can do. If you position or if you lower the font, well, it's going to place the font at the very bottom here, and I recommend doing that because you want the bottoms of all these letters to line up. But you can also select the type tool, click and select that word there, and what I can do is just come over here where our baseline shift is, and I can change the baseline and position that and go from the bottom to the top. I'll press the enter key on the keyboard so you can see now it's no longer at the bottom, it is on the top. That's and that's another option you can do, but I would recommend placing it on the bottom. So that's how it's done. I can just come in here, select this word, we'll select the entire directed by, and I'll come up here to 14. You can see what I'm doing is a really easy way to do this is just to start with a preset point size or a standardized point size in the character palette. Then for these words like present, directed by, editor, all those other words, take it down 2 points. So you can just go down 1, 2. In this case, I'm going down to 14 point, and it's just a good practice to do that, because if we have large text next to small text, well, it's easier to read those two sets of words. And it just because it creates a contrast between those two, and you can see the word secret here and the word directed. It's very easy to read these two words. But if I didn't make the directed word as small, you can see that if I only went down 1 point, you can see that it's still very similar in size. So what we need to do is make these words smaller. So I'll take that down to 14 points. Great. And now I can do this for all the words that we have here. Okay, this is the easiest credit block to create. All we have to do is just select the titles, like Technology By, and then just make it smaller. So it's pretty straightforward, really easy to do. What I'm going to do is just zoom out, and let's take a look at the next block right here. This is the popular block, which contains the Universe typeface, the Universe 39 Thin Ultra Condensed. I have it right in this file here, so if you ever wanted to know or ever want to relook that up, you can just open this file named Credit Blocks, which is in the Movie Credits folder on the DVD, and you will see the name here.